Good morning.
Morning.
Oh no, it's not even morning, it's afternoon.
No, it is afternoon at the moment. You're back
Well,
in
that was
time.
a good start.
I don't know what time of day it is.
Only by about 20 minutes, to be fair.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
not
like
far
it's
off.
like 2 o'clock or something.
No, I'm not far off morning.
But we've decided it's going to be a grumpy podcast
Yeah,
this
sorry.
week.
People are going to listen to this one and go, oh, Jesus.
Well, you're in a bad mood today. And well, it's Honesty Box, and we know
We're just being honest.
that we are not always in the best of moods.
No. I'm sorry, anyone who turns around and goes, I'm happy every single day. Fuck off.
I don't want to be friends with that person. I've got to be honest with you.
I just don't believe it's true.
Well, there's that, and it just, you got to have down days every so often.
Exactly.
And it's nice when it syncs up with someone else's down days as well.
It's not nice in work when we all sync up on down days, though, because then fucking hell.
Yeah.
The mood in that place is just like, jeez.
The workplace is the one place you want someone to be happy at least.
Yeah, if you're all in a bad mood and everyone comes in going, oh, God.
Yeah, I get that.
This is not nice.
You guys need to, perk it up a little bit.
Let's just not talk to any of them today.
We'll just have a nice, quiet day with no words.
Yeah. But it's not too bad, when it's just you and me. That's not bad if we're both syncing up
you
at that point of view.
We do tend to be pretty good that way. If you're in a bad mood, I'm very rarely, hyper happy mood.
Yeah, we're not very opposite very often.
Although maybe that's because we have a choice and we tend to go, I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to not go and see that person today.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I tend to not socialise as much when I'm feeling like this. I'm just I don't want to see people.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm very much like, no.
I don't want to see people.
No.
And then pretend that, oh yeah, I'm good, everything's fine.
I don't want to lie to people.
Well, I just, But then at the same time, I don't want to see them be like, yeah, I'm feeling like shit, so here.
You deal with it.
All of it.
Yeah, you cope with it.
Yeah.
Well.
Internalise. Always.
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 Keep it inside.
It's fine. Oh shit, it's not fine.
No, it's not fine.
And boom.
But that's what this podcast is for,
Exactly.
for venting the bad things.
For venting the boom.
Mm.
Instead of taking it out on someone, which is probably the better option, to be fair.
It's alright to take it out on someone if that someone is going, I know this isn't about me.
Or if they deserve it.
Or if they damn well deserve it, yeah. That's the only other time.
If they deserve it, then I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
what is your own downfall? Yeah, I get it. Do you want to talk about why you're in a bad mood?
Oh God, I don't really know. Partial's hormones. That's definitely a lot to play for.
Yeah,
Every fucking time.
Hormones have a lot to blame for.
Oh, they're just bastards. Absolute bastards. So I sort of beginning of the week I was like, oh, I know what this is. I know what this mood is.
I know what's coming.
Fuck's sake. Here
she comes.
Yeah.
Walking down the street.
Bastard.
It's Mother Nature.
And I love all the TV adverts about Mother Nature, and they make her out to be such a
she's
pleasant
such a
person.
friendly little 50s housewife.
And
you're like, no, she's a bitch. She has a whip.
That.
She has a whip, and she's standing in the corner going,
you.
fucking feel bad.
And the thing is, I think men will never understand the control that it has over you. All right, you can make fun of PMS and all that sort of stuff, and you can have a laugh about it, and I will have a laugh about it because I'm fully aware of the moods that it puts me in. But actually, the feeling of not being in control of your emotions is horrific.
Yeah. And you can have a laugh about it with someone who understands, but having a laugh about it with the bloke that would never understand that kind of thing.
You're not in control of your emotions, and it just, you wake up and that's what you're feeling, and that's how it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to feel like that. Well, you don't get a choice.
No, it's very strange that it's the same thing with depression and anxiety and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Exactly, because that's all based on hormones. You get
Happy
depression
hormones,
because you have different hormones and your levels are not quite equaled out. And I don't think that people look at PMS at the same way, even though it is exactly the same thing. Really,
yeah, they don't look at it. I think a lot of people look at it as a physical thing in terms of the fact they go, oh, it makes the
you get
grumpy,
your cramps and you get your
pain, and they think that the grumpiness, etc., comes from the pain, which it partially does, but actually
it doesn't help.
It's the hormone imbalance, which is the effect on your mental health, which they don't recognise.
Yeah, but you've always had cramps, you've had backache and that kind of stuff.
God,
I never get that. The worst I get is I feel like I've got a bit of indigestion.
Yeah,
but I still get the ups and downs.
With your mood.
With my mood.
Yeah.
So it can't be just a physical thing. It's not just I've got pain so I feel grumpy, because it's not that.
I think that's how people
absolutely, yeah.
It.
Well, we say people, men,
yeah, okay.
Men. It's women get it.
Yeah.
Because they've had it. They get it.
They deal with it.
Yeah. They, even if you don't have a very strong period, which I don't, I have a very weak hormonal reaction to my period.
Yeah.
But I still get ups and downs, and I still get some months are worse than others.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, and it depends what else is going on in my life as well.
Yes, exactly.
So I still get it, even though I don't get the pain and the cramping. I've had cramps, so I know how shit they are.
Yeah, it's the external stuff as well, like you say, though, of what's going on in your general life.
Yeah.
That then feeds into it, and you go, wait there, things have just got a whole lot worse.
Yeah, and then it doesn't, because it makes you feel insecure. With me, definitely. Like, one of the most obvious signs that I'm coming on is I suddenly get very self-conscious. Yeah. I'm never someone that's, like, very self-conscious. I'm someone that's in the background, I'm thinking, I wonder if this is, whether this outfit looks good or if my hair looks right or whatever. Yeah. That's in the background of my mind all the time, because I think that's just with everybody it is. Yeah. But when I'm on my period or I'm due to come on, I have a week where I'm just suddenly like, oh God, I look horrible in this. Oh my God, I can't take any photos. I look awful. My skin looks terrible. I need to put a lot of makeup on. Yeah. Like, if you see me wearing a lot of makeup most of the time, it's because I'm on my period or I'm on the week before, because I'm feeling insecure. So I need that extra boost. Yeah. Like we were saying, with blokes, they don't get that. It affects that whole week. It's not just a couple of days.
Yeah, and it's not just while it's actually happening.
Yeah, it's like the week before and the week of. Yeah. Like the week off, you're kind of going, well, I know why I'm feeling bad.
Yeah, and you can get your head around it a bit more then.
Yeah.
And you actually get it. I feel like when it's actually started, then I feel like I start to regain control.
Yeah, I do as well.
Little bit by little bit. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. I'm back to myself, and then it's gone, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm back.
Partly that is because you're going, oh, well, I know why I'm in bad mood. Yeah, now. Like, I've got a physical realization.
Yeah.
Whereas when you don't have that physical reason, it does. It does validate. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
You turn around and you go, well, this is why I've been feeling like shit. Okay, cool. And so you move on.
Yeah, that's it. And you have, it sounds really, this is probably a bit graphic really, but when you put a tampon in or you put a pad on or whatever, it's like having a medication for it.
Yeah.
As much as it doesn't do anything for the physical symptoms.
In your brain.
You're going,
think, right, I'm sorting this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, it's almost like the tampons are like a pill that's going to stop it from happening.
Yeah.
Even though it's obviously not. And that's
if only.
Really psychosomatic, but...
Yeah, no, I get that. I totally get it. I'm sure a lot of women would get it like that as well.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's just me, but it is something that I definitely think, like, as soon as you actually get the flow and you put the tampon in and you're like, okay, clogged up that problems for a while.
Yeah, and we're sorted. Clogging up is probably not the words to use.
That's why I used it.
So grim. And for all the men that are listening to our podcast, we apologise for this conversation, but it's part of our life.
It is part of our life, and therefore it's part of your life. If you have women in your life, then this is part of your life. It's not something you
can avoid.
No.
I'm afraid. I mean, you could, but they'd have to have a fucking hysterectomy.
Gay men will be all right.
Well, yeah, that's true. They don't have to
They don't have to deal with it. That's fine. Lucky for them.
And then the poor lesbians that have both. Jesus.
Oh, God. Well, you presumably, if you're in a lesbian relationship, you sync up with your partner.
Well, I would imagine so, because as friends, we've
synced up, yeah.
And, like I said, in work, there's 6 of us. There's fucking 6 of us in work that have all synced up, which isn't surprising, because we're with each other 4 days a week or whatever. Yeah. So I would imagine that you would, but that's got to be a hell of a horrible house to live in. Like, I remember as a teenager, like, if you synced up with your mother...
Yeah.
And, oh my God.
It was a bad week.
Because you'd just be like angry with each other over nothing. But you're just like, well, I'm just angry.
Yeah. I just want to be angry and you're the nearest person to take it out on.
You're going to get it. And they're like, I'm doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I think after that week, then you just go, we're good now.
Yeah.
We're cool.
Yeah, you just look at each other and go, and we're done.
Yeah. We're over it now. Yeah, that's probably true.
Oh my God. Yeah, it is. It's got to be. But yeah, no, that's definitely the massive part of my week. The other one is well, I mean, he's not going to listen, so it's fine. So I'm going to call him a fuckboy. Because probably...
We get into the juicy shit.
It's not really. It's really not. But, I mean... Oh, I hope he doesn't listen to us now. Well, actually, no, I don't give a fuck.
I hope he does.
Yeah. So I started speaking to someone like 3 weeks ago, and he was like super keen, which, you know, I don't mind. I'm happy with that. Texting me all the time, being like, really want to meet you, da-da-da. We seem to get on really well. We like the same things. He's from round here, all this sort of stuff. It turns out we both went to high school together. He's a couple of years older than me, so...
Okay. Which, for those of you who don't know, Steph, a couple of years older is pretty much the standard. You have to hit that mark.
My age or younger.
No.
There's a no-go.
Especially not younger. I think that's
that would be
never
so
happened.
Weird for me. No, it's never. Well, no, I lie, actually. Alex was 3 months younger than me.
That does not count. That is the same age. Don't even try and bullshit me. Now carry on anyway.
Yeah. So he's super keen, etc. I was meant to meet him the other weekend, but I was on call, and I got called out when I was meant to see him, so I was like, sorry. And he was fine with it. Then that week, he was a bit hit and miss with his messages, so I was a bit like, But then it got towards the weekend, he was like, no, I really want to meet you, blah, blah, blah. Fine, cool. So I met him last Saturday, had a drink, he seemed really nice, really chill, he didn't push anything, like he wasn't handsy or anything like that. Awesome, happy days. And he's like, I want to see you again. I was like, cool, I want to see you again too. Fine. Then carried on chatting. And then I saw him Wednesday. Like the Wednesday just gone. Saw him Wednesday. Again, nice and chilled, just for a couple of hours. Had a drink, chilled out. Again, didn't push anything. Tried to start talking about sex and stuff. And I'm all for chatting and whatever. And I was just like, yeah, look, that's not happening yet. And he was totally cool with it. He was like, no, I think we should have like a 5-day rule and stuff like that. I was like, yes. I was like, I'm totally
5 dates is good, yeah.
So I was like, I'm totally up for that. That is I'm more than happy with that. That's really respectful. You know, thank you for actually offering that, because how often does a guy go, should we do this?
Yeah,
you know,
that is kind of rare.
Like...
And I'm saying that like I said that like I have first-hand experience. No, like bearing in mind I've been in the same relationship since I was 19.
Yeah,
Steph is my sort of meter on how the dating scene is. So when I say stuff like, oh, that makes sense, that's because I've heard Steph say it before.
Because of what you know through me.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So I was like, cool, fine. So off he goes. And then he didn't really speak to me. So
here he comes.
He sort of ignored me on Thursday and then started messaging me in the evening and was just like, hey, da 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 da. I was like, oh, all right. You know, maybe you've been busy in work. He works. I was like, fine. You know, I'm not looking for someone that's going to message me every 10 minutes, but you can't ignore me for a whole 24 hours.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's just, especially if you've just seen me. Because then at that point you want to turn around and go, look, if you're not bothered, say so. So chatted away and then he didn't reply to me. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Went to bed, went to work on Friday, nothing. So I got to Friday afternoon and I thought, right, I'll drop him a message. So I just sent him a message going, hey, hope you have a nice day. Nothing like, so didn't hear from him Friday. Didn't read my message. He was online, but he didn't read my message. Nothing. Then when I saw him on Wednesday, he talked about meeting up this Saturday. Nothing on Friday, nothing Friday night, nada. I was like, right, okay. I know he's got some stuff going on in his personal life. He has got a daughter, so he's got some issues going on there. So I was just like, look, I get that shit's going on, so I'll leave you to it. So I didn't message him, nothing, right? And I'm like, you know, it's fine, whatever. So I get to Saturday, and I'm like, get to the middle of Saturday, and I'm like, I still not heard from you. Like, either, if you're not, again, like I said, if you're not interested, that's cool, but fucking say so. Don't just fuck off. So I messaged him going, did you still want to meet up today? He's like, yeah, I'd love to see you. Work's pretty busy though, so I'll let you know what time I get out. All right, cool. Nothing. Then I get a selfie of him in work going, oh my God, I'm so tired. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. If you don't want to meet up tonight because you're tired, that's fine. Just say so. Nothing. And to this morning, I have not heard a peep.
I don't understand people like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how has he gone from being super keen bean to I'm going to message you every 10 minutes, all this sort of stuff, to nothing?
The thing with me is I know ghosting is terrible, and we will probably do a whole episode on ghosting at some point, because I think that's a big one. But I think I would rather be ghosted than have someone that's kind of like, oh yeah, I'm still keen.
I'm interested. I am.
And then it's just being flaky. Like,
yes, exactly. Like, this is actually worse. Like, if he just blocked me and disappeared, I'd be like, okay, cool, happy days.
Yeah, you kind of be like, well, that's my answer, isn't it? Yeah.
I could cut it off and be like, but actually, potentially, for all I know, because, like, he knows I'm off this week, so he knows I've got a week off work, so he was talking about meeting up. Like, last week, he was like, oh, I can see you a couple of times that week. So for all I know, like if I get a message later on tonight, then going, so when are you free? What do you want to do? I'll be like, the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's just like, the thing is, right, I know he's, like I said, I know he's got stuff going on, and so I get that. But at that point, don't take it out on me.
No, and that
don't ignore me because you've got shit going on. Turn around to me and go, look, I got shit going on. This isn't for me at the moment. Cool. Yeah. I know where I stand then.
It's a little bit of communication, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think as much as some people would say, oh, well, you know, you're overreacting, you know, he has got stuff going on, whatever. When you're in this dating stage, it sets precedent for how you're going to be in a relationship in the long term. And if you're flaky now, what's to say you're not going to be flaky later on?
But it's things like last night when I turned around to him and I said, look, if you're tired and you don't want to see me, that's cool, let me know. The fact that he was then online, didn't read my message, was online, but did not reply to me and just ignored it. Like, that's just not rude.
Really it's rude, and it's not really an excuse.
Yeah, like, as far as I'm concerned, that's disrespectful more than anything.
Yeah.
Just in terms of fact, if you turn around to me and went, yeah, I'm too tired. All right, like, I've told you that that's fine.
Yeah.
But just actually validate it. Don't just go, oh, she said that, so I'm just going to crack on.
Yeah, that's what it does kind of feel like, doesn't it? It's kind of like, taking advantage of the fact that you're being quite cool about it and not, like, pushing it.
So I'm just kind of like, I'm a bit done with that because I just don't think...
It wouldn't make me feel inclined to go on another date, I've got to be honest.
You know, I know that, like, I was talking to the girls on work about it this week, and I know that, obviously, part of it is because, similar to you, this week particularly, I feel quite insecure. So, you know, him ignoring me for 24, 48 hours...
It doesn't help.
But also, actually... Like, if I was going to get into a relationship with someone and they said, if I got stuff going on, I'm going to ignore you for 2 days.
Yeah.
No.
That's it. That's exactly it.
You don't get to, I'm sorry.
No, you can't. If you're in a relationship with someone, fair enough when you're dating, I guess you've got no commitments to someone. Exactly. But it does like I said, it sets precedent for a future relationship.
It doesn't make me want to get in a relationship
No, and if you're going to not communicate, which communication to me is a huge thing in a relationship. It's massive. If you're not going to communicate in the dating stage, does that mean you're going to struggle with it in the relationship stage?
Absolutely.
Probably does.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just pissed me off.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That would annoy me. It's annoying me now.
You know, like you sit there and like you say, you sit in your own head and you go, I'm overreacting to this. Like I've seen this person twice. I've only spoken to them for like 3 weeks. What the fuck am I getting my nut over? But actually, I just think it's rude.
It is rude, and I think that's
what annoys me. It's not him as a person, or like that. I'm like, oh my god, I want you to reply to me because I don't give a shit. No. What I think is that
you're being rude.
If you've changed your mind, or if you've got whatever, explain it to someone. Yeah. The thing that annoys me, right? If I go back to my messages from 2 weeks ago, he's like, I'm totally open and honest. I'm an open book. I'm one of these people that I will always be 100% honest with you. So if something's going on, I will let you know because I'm 100% honest. I'm 100% honest. Fuck off, are you?
Yeah, well, you're clearly not because you're just lying.
Yeah, you're just ignoring me.
Yeah.
That's not being honest.
No, that would really...
That's being ignorant.
I would be so inclined to copy and paste that previous message and be like, what happened to this?
Yeah. How did that change in 10 days?
What happened? What changed? Tell me.
Yeah. And that's the thing, again. It could be that he started speaking to someone else because that's what happens in the dating world. You're talking to a couple of people at once and then one person takes your fancy more than the other and then you fuck off and leave the others. And like that's
it might not
fine.
even be that though.
But again, just fucking say so.
Yeah. It might not even be that someone else has taken his fancy, over you. It might just be that he's so absorbed in that new communication that he's forgotten almost about the previous one. And I think that's the problem is you get distracted in this dating way. The way that dating happens now, everyone just gets distracted all the time. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of why ghosting does happen because people just get distracted by someone new and then they forget about this one person.
You're talking to someone, oh, no, someone else and someone else and someone
else. Which is also not a good thing for a relationship. Doesn't set precedent for a relationship because if you're getting distracted 24/7
by someone new,
how can I sit there and think that your focus is going to be 100% on me in this relationship? It's not.
Well, again, another message with the honest one. If I'm really into someone, apart from my child, I give them 110% of disappearance. Like
more like 10%.
Just like
100%.
You do really want to, like you say, copy and paste all those previous messages from 10 days ago and go, So you said this, and this. I'm not seeing that.
But that's why I'd never get anywhere if I was having to date nowadays, because I would literally just be such an arsehole to everybody. I'd be like,
To be fair, one of the girls I know literally does that. Like, she would have blocked him by now. She'd be like, bye.
Oh, that would have been me.
Yeah.
That would have been me.
It would have been like, bye-bye, fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, to be fair, she probably would have blocked him like 10 days ago.
Yeah, and this goes back to you giving people second, third chances.
Exactly, I know. But yeah, you watch. I'll get a fucking message later now.
It's almost guaranteed, really.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just going... But do you know what? And this is the thing. Part of me wants to go, yeah, okay, let's meet up. Just so that I can look at him face to face and go, can I ask you why you've been ignoring me?
Yeah.
And
see what his reaction would be.
Because obviously you can do that over text and people can send you all sorts of bullshit. Yeah. You know, it's very easy over text to go, why are you ignoring me? Oh, this has happened, that's happened, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But actually, when they're face to face with you, you can see on their face.
A lot of people are cowards when it comes face to face.
Exactly.
Like, they would cower.
They just
having to tell the truth. Yeah.
I quite enjoy that.
There'd be something sick inside of me going, yes. You don't know how you fucked up.
Exactly.
Not yet, but you will.
Part of me goes, if he does message and go, should we meet up this week? I go, yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Just to be like, can I ask you what the fuck's gone on? And watch him go,
Or just don't turn up to the date.
Oh, that could be good.
Yeah. And then film it from outside.
Fuck you.
I didn't want to come anyway.
Yeah, I can't film it from outside because then if he rings and my phone goes off, I shit myself.
Don't vibrate.
That's true. I'd still do it if it's that. I'd be like, oh, fuck, he's there.
Just there's a big red button that says hang up on that phone. You can just
go,
bang.
You tell me in that situation, you'd react straight away and be like, get off.
I would. I literally would just be like, fuck, no.
You wouldn't. You'd
it's either
yourself
that,
first.
No, either that or I'd answer it and be like, hello. Like watching him through the window, like in you. Just like through the window going, oh my God, I don't know why. I thought it was next Thursday.
Yeah, and then he just hears your actual voice, looks around.
Yeah, because I don't have a very quiet voice, let's be honest.
Exactly.
You're probably like, I can literally hear you outside the window, be like, no, you can't.
You can't see me, I'm not here.
Don't know what you mean. That's just ignore the woman behind the curtain.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work, funnily enough.
Right,
yeah,
we did have a plan on what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah, I know, but we've kind of gone overboard. You haven't talked about your week.
I mean, to be fair, my week hasn't been bad.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had a bad week. I've just had a shitty mood week.
Yeah.
Like one of those, and I can't even blame it on being coming on because it's not that.
Oh, you just had.
I just had a really shitty mood week. I don't know. My anxiety's been quite high this week, and it doesn't help. Oh, I didn't tell you about this actually. Oh. My dad messaged me a day or two ago, and out of the blue was just like, "Have you thought about what you're going to do if you have to reduce your numbers for the wedding down to 30?"
Oh God, someone said it. I have been thinking about this, but I was like,
yeah.
I'm not going to approach
it.
It
had been in the back of my mind, as a lot of things are.
Yeah, of course.
Like, yeah, it'd been in the back of my mind as something that I vaguely need to think about at some point. Yeah. Just in case. Mm-hmm. But he come out of the blue and said it yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before.
So that makes it the forefront
now
of your
it's
mind.
literally all I can think about.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, I have one of those fixating personalities where... Do you remember when we were moving house and I lost the screws for the bed?
Yes.
And because when we moved from Gloucester, I wrapped all the screws up in some tape and like put them in my bag just to, because I know I don't ever change my bags. So I was like, well, if I leave them in there, I'll know they're in there and I don't need to worry about it. Yeah. Anyway, I took them out of my bag, didn't I? And I put them on a shelf somewhere and forgot about them. And then when we came to move in, we're literally like a week away from moving. I was like, fuck, where are those screws for the bed? I really can't find them. They weren't in my bag, obviously, because I'd taken them out. Yeah, yeah. I literally spent a day and a half doing nothing but thinking about where those screws were. It's the least important thing to do with moving the house. But I fixated on it. I couldn't think of anything else. And this is like that now. Yeah, yeah. I now can't think of anything else because I have quite a big family. Lloyd has a big family. If we have to cut our numbers down, there is a huge possibility that some of our friends won't be able to come. Yeah. And if anyone knows me that's listening, they know that my friends are my family, essentially. Yeah. They are the people that are second in line. Like, you know.
No, exactly. They are like your immediate family to you as such.
Yeah, because I don't have a lot of close family in my immediate area. Yeah. Like, a lot of my family live on the other side of the country. and I don't have a brother or sister. I just have my parents. So
your immediate friends are siblings.
They've become like siblings to me. Yeah, in a weird. Not quite siblings, but you know.
Yeah. I think that's quite normal, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that.
Yeah, I think especially only children.
Friends. Yeah.
With only children, I think they do latch on to friends a bit more.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So now I'm sitting here thinking, what friends am I going to have to get this thing the hook? And that's really, really shitty.
That is harsh.
Because there's so many people. Like, I mean, our bridal party alone is 6 people.
Yeah.
That leaves, well, if we have to reduce it down to 30, which it is at the moment, that obviously leaves 24 people. That includes me and Lloyd. Yeah. It includes our parents.
Yeah, so that's like, what, 18?
Yeah. But then that includes the photographer as well.
Oh, fuck.
And then I've got grandparents still alive.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 grandparents that need to be there.
Yeah, so we're down to what, like 14?
Yeah, so if we've got 6 for the bridal party, me and Lloyd, that makes 8.
Yeah.
Then you've got my parents is 10.
Yeah.
Lloyd's parents is 12.
Yeah, that's 18. Yeah, photographer. 17.
Yeah, photographer. Then you've got
Does it include the
I don't think it includes the minister.
Okay, well that's good.
Like, frankly.
Yeah.
The photographer is actually 2 people, because she brings 2 when she comes.
Yeah, fine. So that's 16 grandparents.
Yeah, I've got 3.
So that's 13. So you've got 13 spaces, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
And then we have to pick between 13 people. Obviously, I would get half and he would get half.
Yeah, of course.
Like, how do you choose?
That's horrible.
I would really, really like to have my auntie and uncle there.
Yeah.
At least, well, I have like lots of auntie and uncles, but there's like
the ones you're closest to.
The closest to, they would be the ones that I would want to be there.
Yeah.
And then Lloyd's got aunties and uncles that he wants there. Lots of them.
Yeah.
And
oh man.
Yeah, so now this is what's been running through my head all week.
Well, that's fair enough. And like I had thought about it, but the thing is, like, what, your wedding's June next year. I don't think it's even worth thinking about numbers until you're in 2021.
Well,
because realistically, you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Like, you know, until 2020, there's no point in stressing about it now because you could make these changes and they could change again.
Yeah.
You know, they could turn around. It might be that if things get any worse than they are at the moment, they put it back down to 10.
Yeah.
You know, where it was when COVID really kicked off. Yeah. It could be by winter it goes down to 10, but then it could be by February next year it goes back up to 50 or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's difficult because I know you've got to think about it, but at the same time, it's going to change. It's probably going to change again.
Well, that's it. And it's, I mean, everyone I've spoken to has completely different opinions on it.
Yeah.
Like you said, like some people are like, well, it might change. It might be reduced down to some people. For other people are saying, it might just be that you don't actually have to worry about it because they might have just stopped that ban at some point because you don't know how things are going to be in June.
No, exactly.
And I mean, if you look at March this year compared to June of this year,
Yeah.
there was a big difference in what we were in lockdown at that point and we were coming out of it in June.
Yeah.
So it is, I know what you're saying, but unfortunately my personality...
Your brain's on it.
Yeah, I mean,
of course.
I've always said I have a weirdly addictive personality. I've never thought I could be addicted to like alcohol or fags or anything like that. Yeah. But I fixate on things. And I fixate on them for a really short period of time. I do the same thing with things that I enjoy. Yeah. So I can play a game for 8 hours a day for a whole week and not be bored and play it solidly. And then the next week I won't touch it.
Not touch it. Yeah. No, I get that.
And that's how my brain works. So unfortunately this week that's what my brain's been fixated on. And I need to find something else to replace that with.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to think about it.
At least the one thing that is lucky coming up soon, you'll have uni.
Yes,
that is a massive distraction for you.
Yeah, and I did go on yesterday to see if my course materials had been made available yet, and they haven't yet. So I was kind of like, damn it.
Yeah.
Could have got started.
I need that distraction.
Yeah, I really could do with that right now. As much as I've never wanted to do work in my life.
Yeah.
Especially not at work.
But it will. That will be a massive distraction for you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wouldn't stress too much about it at the moment because it's gonna fucking change again.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm trying to tell myself. Is it's like it might be to be fair, I was thinking about this. If the number goes up to 50 that we can have at a wedding,
that's probably doable.
That's kind of ideal.
Yeah,
because then we can cut some of the people out that
you're inviting because you have to.
Well, no, I haven't invited anyone that I have to invite, but it will I'm not going to lie, it does reduce the cost of a wedding if you reduce the numbers quite drastically. So if we can reduce the numbers, and we have to reduce the numbers, at least we are getting a benefit from it. Like the fact that we will have to pay less for food, for example.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But I would still prefer to have everybody there.
Yeah, everyone that you have invited.
Yeah, because that's who I want there. If you've been invited to my wedding, you were invited because I want you there. If you've not been invited because I have to, or I feel like I have to.
Yeah, yeah.
That's as simple as that. And it's the same for Lloyd's side as well. He's not invited anyone that he feels
obliged to invite.
Exactly. Yeah. And luckily, we both have very hands-off parents in terms of they've not said to us, oh, you have to invite this person because they were at your christening or whatever, like, as much as I haven't been christened and neither has Lloyd, but
I get the idea.
Yeah, so that's where my brain's been at this week.
Oh man.
Yeah,
both of our brains are just doing overtime this week, mate.
Yeah, unfortunately I just haven't been able to stop thinking this week.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I just can't switch off, and unfortunately when I do that, like, you're quite good at talking to people about this kind of stuff. You're quite good at saying, oh, I'm having this shit week and this is why.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm more likely to say, I feel like shit, and then if someone asks why, I'll just be like, no, I just do.
That's just how I feel.
It's just how I feel. Because part of me doesn't want to bother people.
Yeah, I get you.
But
I tend to only do that when I get to the point where my brain is going, no, you can't figure this out on your own, mate. The rest, like, if little things that bug me, I'm just like, oh, I'll just internalize it. But if it's starting to the point where I'm like, am I going crazy? Am I crazy? Or am I not?
You need a second opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're going, it's that thing where you're going, am I overreacting? Am I being that dickhead that's overreacting to this situation? Then you speak to someone else and they go, no, you're not. You're not. And you go, yeah, okay, fine, that's all I wanted.
Yeah. And like, I have a very, I don't know. I don't tend to do that.
Yeah.
Without prompting.
Yeah.
I tend to be more, I'll deal with it. I'll work it out as much as possible in my own brain. And then if I can't work it out, I'll ignore it.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't exist. It's not real then. It's like, and I'm quite good at denial as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good at that.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
Oh, we did have a topic.
We've done 30 minutes of talking. Right.
I mean, to be fair, this topic, whilst it's a big one, I don't think we can talk about it for a whole hour.
No, that's true. This is just whingy hour.
Yeah, it's basically...
whingy half hour.
I mean, to be fair, this topic is quite whingy.
So, speaking of this topic...
It
is time to talk about boomerang people.
Yeah, gotta love a boomerang.
You have much more experience with this than I do. I have boomerang people in my friendships.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They can come in like whatever.
Do you want to describe a boomerang person?
I think I did it on the end of the last episode, but I'll do it again.
Possibly, yeah. We'll do a recap.
So, boomerang, as in not the Australian...
Well, it is, but it's based on
you called it
a
weapon, but it's not a weapon.
It is a weapon. Totally is a weapon.
It could be used as a weapon if you really
I'm going to Google it right now and tell you that a boomerang is an Aborigine weapon. I can almost guarantee it.
But yes, a boomerang person, friend or otherwise, is a kind of person that has been in your life for something. So whether it be a relationship, friendship, etc. And then they leave. Not in, it might be that the relationship ended, or in terms of your friendship, you just don't hang out anymore and whatever, and they sort of disappear, and then something happens in their life maybe that, has either upset them or whatever, and then they reappear, and then they go away, and then they come back, and they go away.
And they usually have a nefarious motive for coming back.
So, like, I suppose from a friendship point of view, it could be that, like, you see some friends who get into new relationships and they disappear entirely. And then that relationship goes south.
Smug FaceTime. It is well known as a weapon used by some Aboriginal and Australian peoples for hunting. Wikipedia tells me.
Oh, that really reliable source, Wikipedia.
Shut up. That's what I'm going to be using for my uni course.
I would not put that in your... in your context, because they won't like it. But yes, so and then I suppose from a relationship side of things, I mean, it doesn't always have to be a full-on relationship. It could be that it was just like a sexual relationship or something with someone over a period of time, and then they go away because they've met someone, or it just doesn't do it for them anymore, and then they become single again,
or not,
or not, and they just go, oh, I fancy a bit of you again, and so they come back.
Yeah,
quite often.
Like I said, my experience with boomerangs is mainly through you. I don't have a huge amount of experience of having boomerang people in my life. Mainly because
you block everyone.
I do block. Yeah, there is that.
I don't do more blocking.
I don't block people. I just delete them off of Facebook and then never. When they ask to be my friend again, I just don't accept them.
I just get texts or whatever.
See, I also have a habit of changing my number.
Yeah, see, I haven't. This is a problem. I have not changed my number in years.
No, see, I change my number quite regularly. Well, not quite regularly. I've changed it at least once in the last 4 years.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Yeah, so anyone that did have my number at one point back in my history now no longer has.
So they cannot contact you.
They can't contact me, and that does take a lot of the swing around out of it.
Absolutely. I had a really good one the other day. Well, I say the other day. This has been going on for probably best part of 3 years now. And you'll like this one because this one will amuse.
Is it going to make me annoyed?
Potentially, but I think you'll also find it funny because when you realise who it is, you'll be like, Jesus Christ.
God, I'll probably forget who they are.
You won't.
I'll look blankly at you for a little while.
You won't, honestly. So this person was...
Hang on, can we just say, bearing in mind that you've dated several people with the same name.
Ouch.
Like... Sometimes you say one person, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is, and then you'll say something else. I'm like, oh wait, no, I was wrong.
I will drop the bomb on you now because I know you'll get this straight away. So this was my first relationship when I was in college, and they weren't from round here.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
There we go. See, I knew you'd get it.
Now I know.
Yeah. So this was my first big relationship, really. So
is this the relationship you were in when I met you? I think, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. This person contacted me about 3 years ago now because their job requires them to come to Cardiff.
I do remember that happening.
Yeah. So, and they were all like, oh, let's meet up. And I was like, no. Bye. So, off they go. And then a couple months later, oh, I'm in Cardiff this weekend. Are you free? No, I'm not. Then I got to the point where I was single and they were like, oh, I'm in Cardiff this weekend. Let's meet up. And I thought, well, I'm single. Fucking why not? And I was like, yeah. And then, of course, it didn't happen. And I'm like, called you bluff, mate. Anyway, so they messaged me beginning of this year, right? And they re-added me on Facebook. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I can have a little nose.
See, that's not what I do at all.
I would have a nose. Because I'm just like, I want to know. There's obviously something's happened for you to contact me.
This is the reason.
Single or like something's happened and I'm just nosy as fuck.
This is the reason that I have 56 friends on Facebook and most of those are family. 200. Yeah. It's not because I'm antisocial, it's because I don't bother with people that come back.
I'm just nosy. So they re-added me and they were chatting away and they were like, oh, I'm going to be down in Cardiff, loads of work and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And they're like, oh, we should meet up for a drink. I'm like, yeah, I'm all right. I'm going with that. Why not? So go on Facebook, having a nose. Facebook says single. So I'm like, there we go. So having a look down. Oh, you've got a baby boy that is like 3 months old.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh. So I'd reply then and go, oh, so have you had a kid? And they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, what's happened with the mum? And he's like, oh, well, we've split up, but we're still living together. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, so you're not sleeping with her then? Oh, well, I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And he's like, but I'm down in Cardiff next week. I'm like, yeah, I'm busy. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, hit me up last week. Jesus Christ. When he hit me up last week, he's like, 2 weeks time, I'm in Cardiff for a whole week. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'm on leave. No. I'm working the whole time. Sorry. Every hour of the day.
Doing nights as well.
Yeah, I'm just doing, the whole, 24 hours for, 7 days.
Doing the full shift.
Sorry. And then he's like, he's around to me. He's like, are you still single? So I thought, yeah, but I'm not going to tell you that. And I know he won't listen to this. It's fine. So I was like, oh, no, I am sort of dating someone. I'm like, he's not going to know, but that's fine. So I'm like, oh, no, I'm sort of dating someone, so I'm sort of off limits. And he's like, oh, but are you together? And I'm like, no, but if I'm dating someone, I'm off limits. And he's like, all right. I'm like, why? What's going on with you? I was like, are you still single? And he's like, oh, I'm back with mother. And I was like, okay, so why are you hitting me up?
Why are you interested?
I was like, why are you hitting me up when you're coming down to Cardiff then? He's like, oh, well, it's just not the same since she's had the kid or whatever. I'm like, so why did you get back with her?
Oh, for
and
God's
literally,
sake.
I just went nuts. On WhatsApp, I was just like, why are you doing this? And then he blocked me. But he's kept me on Facebook.
Oh, for God's sake.
The problem is, all I want to do is screenshot what he's sending.
And send it to her.
And go, just so you know.
Yeah. Don't trust him.
Because it's just
Don't trust him.
Well, that's what he did to me.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, a large amount of these people that are boomerangs do not learn.
No.
That's the problem. And that's why they swing back around.
Yeah.
Because they just haven't learned the fact that
we're not stupid.
We're not interested. Like,
I know. I mean, it makes me laugh when you get some of them that come back around and go, and they're like, oh, hey. And you're like, hi, what do you want?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I figure we can be friends. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you've ignored me for the last 2
friends.
years,
you want
to be friends. Oh, yeah, okay, I totally get it.
I want to be friends, but, I'm going to be around, your way soon. And
yeah,
like, right?
I'm getting a hotel room. Oh, okay, I see how it is.
Like, we should meet up for a drink for old time's sake. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those great old times,
exactly.
which
old
we haven't done.
Sake, because I want to see you and talk about how you fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And unfortunately, when it comes to those kind of boomerangs that are coming back around for a sexual reason,
yeah,
you kind of just want to say to them, like, your dick went that good.
Yeah,
it
but
weren't
the problem
that
is
good.
The ones that are. That's the difficult one.
Yeah, that's when you kind of go.
The ones that are good, you're like, oh, I should ignore you,
but on the other hand,
and this is where my
it's
brain
been a while.
goes. Yeah, this is where my brain goes. I'm single. I'm on my own.
Yeah,
fuck it.
But that's why they're boomerangs.
Exactly.
It's exactly why they're boomerangs, because they come straight back around again because they know you're weak.
Yeah, absolutely. God damn it. But
weak.
It is true. It is true. There's one that I know that is boomeranged for the last 4 years. Just boomerangs back around. But I mean, he's pretty good. He'll leave me 6 months. He'll leave me alone for 6 months and then hit me up. And I'm like, oh, okay, why not? Once in 6 months suits me.
This is when I want to bang my head against the microphone.
But it depends on the circumstance in terms of the fact. So with that boomerang, for example, it doesn't annoy me as much because I know where I stand.
Yeah.
I absolutely know where I stand with that. So he turns up, gets what he wants, I get what I want.
Yeah.
And then he actually just completely fucks off.
Yeah.
The ones that annoy me are the ones who try to get in emotionally as well.
Yeah, and they try and make it out that this is something that it's not. Yeah.
And they're very good at that.
At least I guess when you're getting something out of it that you wanted in the first place, then it doesn't really matter if they're being
you're
back
both,
around.
If you're both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, you've got to make it very clear.
Mm.
And he, that particular one makes it very clear that I'm here for now, not forever.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, cool. Because I know where I stand. In my head, I know what I'm doing. But it's like, that one that my ex from the past that comes creeping back around. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want?
That's the thing, is you never had an emotional attachment to the one that swings around every 6 months.
No, exactly.
But if you've had an emotional attachment to someone, why do they think that you're suddenly going to want to revisit that?
Especially if you got hurt from it.
Yeah, because
it's just like, why do you think I'm going to let you back in my life?
And I can only assume it's because other people have let him back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
His the baby mother.
Yeah,
baby mother. Yeah, that's fine. You can stay let him go and we'll get back together.
No, lady, go. Just get out while you still can.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing I always think is, I wonder how many of them go back to their previous relationships, they get let back in, and then they do the same thing.
Oh, nearly all the time.
Exactly.
I'd imagine it's a constant vicious circle of leave, get a bit lonely, go back.
Yeah.
Leave, get a bit lonely, get back.
Yeah. And we just let them in.
You do.
Well, I haven't really had any of my exes back.
No. I say you do.
She does.
Yeah. People do.
Yeah, people do.
I don't. I have no tolerance for that.
No tolerance.
Unfortunately, you hurt me once. No, bye.
Off you go.
Yeah, I'm not interested.
No, I get that. I sort of
You have a lot more tolerance, but you're also not stupid.
Yeah, I will let them in to a certain extent, but I wouldn't let them in totally emotionally.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, no,
There's
I
a
remember
certain...
what happened last time this happened.
Yeah, there's a wall between you that's not...
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I mean, it's quite funny. I'm waiting on one now to hit me up in the next couple of weeks. So there was one who, as you say, aren't always single. So there was one that was married when I met them. During their marriage, they were sending me things they shouldn't be sending stuff. And I was like, yo, you married. Like, that's not even like you're in a relationship.
No.
You married, so I'm out, bye-bye. You know?
Yeah.
And funnily enough, they're single now.
There's a surprise.
I wonder how that marriage ended.
Yeah. There's a fucking surprise.
But you do think, I wonder, like, when he's, like, sending the shit you send to me, I'm thinking, I wonder how many other women you're sending that to. And that poor woman...
is sat there with no clue. Or potentially with some clue and just absolute paranoia about it, which is even worse.
Yeah.
Like, if she had no clue whatsoever, there's this element of me that thinks what she doesn't know doesn't hurt her.
Yeah.
And as long as he's good to her and, you know, isn't a terrible person to her, you know, like, it's not great and it's not something I would ever condone in my own relationship, but you can see why people would bury their heads in the sand.
Absolutely.
But if she has some kind of knowledge of it and is just sitting there paranoid, that just makes me... That's why I could never entertain someone that's in a relationship and like, you know, it's very different finding out after the deed that you that they were in a relationship,
because then you're just like,
well, for
you
fuck's
lied
sake.
to me, point blank lied
and like
to
you
me,
said,
right?
there is that temptation to go, I'm just going to send all your messages to this person, and that's... But then you do... The reason I probably wouldn't do that is because you have no idea if she's quite happily having her head buried in the sand.
It's other people's relationships.
And do you really want to get in between two people that are... Especially if they're in a marriage, because that's a different thing entirely. But do you really want to get in between two people and break up their entire relationship, especially if there's kids involved?
Oh, fuck no. Like, if there's kids involved, definitely.
No, and that's why if you were to send the message to your ex who swung back around and say, do you know he's doing this? That's a kid that's going to be affected by that. It's not just those two people. And as much as she deserves to know, and she does deserve to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
what the ruin,
it's the consequences that are then going to come from that. She's going to be paranoid for the rest of her life, like, because we all know that people who've been cheated on, that they don't get over that.
Taints it, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's, you know,
what can you do with that? Like, but I really think with boomerang people, they don't realise the emotional toll they put on people.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
I don't think they have any idea.
No, because I mean, and this is the only boomerang people that I've ever had in my life are friends that have come back around, or people that were friends with benefits that have come back around. And I think there have been people who I had an emotional connection that I perhaps didn't realise at the time. Yeah. Like, it was a friendship at the time, but if I look back, there was a lot of potential for something else to happen. Yeah. And I, in the back of my mind, knew that but didn't act on it. Yeah, yeah. And then those people have come back around and tried to recreate that relationship. And obviously, being in a relationship with Lloyd now, you have to have a certain level of maturity to go, I do want to be friends with you. I still want to be friends with you, but I don't know whether I can trust myself to have that friendship without developing something else, because it's been there before. Yeah. So what's to say it won't come back? And especially when the friendship didn't end for any noxious reasons, it just ended because
life moved on.
Life moved on.
Yeah.
So I have had to have that conversation, like that kind of moment of realization, and I think with the person I'm talking about, we both had that moment of realization at the same time, because he was in a point of his life where he wasn't at the most stable, and I was at the point in my life where, like, everything was fine with me and Lloyd, absolutely fine, but I knew that if I introduced this person into my life again, there was a potential for it to muck up things.
For it to unbalance it,
and to, like, I think me and Lloyd are completely steady, like, in our relationship, absolutely, but that doesn't mean that you should open yourself up to the potential of rocking the boat.
Absolutely.
You don't want to do that, do you? So
no, of course.
We both at that point, he realised and I realised what was happening and what had the potential to happen. Yeah. And I think we both went, this isn't the right time. Yeah. And so we stopped communication at that point. Yeah. And we haven't spoken to each other since. And that's sad, And I do feel really sad about that because I really valued that friendship. And I do miss that friendship an awful lot.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not the right time for us to be able to be friends.
You know it's the best thing for both of you. So
yeah,
then that gives you comfort in a way, I suppose.
Yeah, because... and it was a nice test for me.
Yeah.
To say, I have got the willpower to say...
Off you go.
Off you go. I think it's time...
Yeah.
That we not have this... And that they haven't swung back around.
Yeah.
That is a good end to that story. That's a good end to a Boomerang situation, I think,
exactly.
Isn't it? It's like, if someone does swing back around, you have to have the emotional maturity to look at yourself and your position that you're in at that time.
Yeah.
And say, is it the right time for this person to be back in my life? Like the person that you have every 6 months.
Yeah.
You're quite happy with that person swinging back around because they're not coming in and disrupting your life.
No, not at all.
Boomerang people, on a whole, do have the capacity to come back around and completely disrupt the status quo.
Absolutely. The worst one is, though, like you say, when you're in a relationship or when you're staying. You'll know this from my past and stuff. You always find that it's when you're starting to get happy.
They swing back around, yeah.
When you've just met someone, things are starting. You start to get yourself all happy and settled and stuff, and then they're like, "Hello," and you're like, "You fucking tested me or what?"
Yeah, and it's almost like they've got sensors.
Yeah,
they've got
they do. Like when you're totally single and alone, they're like, "I'm not bothered."
Yeah,
and then as soon as you start dating, they're like, "Oh."
There's got to be a correlation with that. There's got to be she's happy.
It goes back to the wanting what you can't have.
Yeah,
100%. That's where I think it comes from.
Because I think when you're happy, as females especially, I think we tend to post more selfies. We tend to post more things on Instagram or Facebook. Yeah. You don't tend to post.
You're posting
stuff like
what
that.
you're doing and stuff like that, and so that's when they're like, "Oh, she looks good."
Yeah. Whereas when you're in a bad mood or when you're going through a bad patch, you don't post anything.
No.
I haven't posted very much on my Instagram and Facebook. A, because there's nothing going on at the moment, and because I've not been in a great place for the last couple of months.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't post very much on there. But when I'm in a good place, I post more selfies and I post more pictures of me and Lloyd doing things.
Yeah.
And so they see you. Their memory of you is refreshed.
Yeah.
And they go, she needs a bit of me in her life.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, no,
I really
don't, mate.
Can you not see by these posts that I do not?
Yeah, exactly. But, you're right in terms of the fact that, like, I find that if I am dating and stuff like that, I have got more of the willpower to turn around and go, no, bye-bye, off you fuck. Whereas...
If you're in a good place.
Yeah, whereas if you're single and on your own, having those boomerang people is not a good mix because actually you're in quite a vulnerable place, I think, sometimes. And I think sometimes they know that.
Yeah.
So, you get the ones who see you looking good and see you going out and stuff and going, oh, yeah, okay, let's hit her up. But then you also get the ones who do probably the same thing and go, oh, she hasn't been online much. She's not really posting much. She's not doing much. She can't be in a good place.
When she does post, she's posting pictures of a Ben & Jerry's cup.
Yeah, exactly, or whatever. And so they go, oh, I can look after you. Yeah. And you're like, fuck off.
No, you can't. You didn't last time. Exactly. What made you think you could do it this time?
Yeah. But then they get you at that vulnerable spot, and it's really difficult then when you're on your own to have that willpower to go, no, you're not good for me. Fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
It's very manipulative, really.
Manipulative.
When you go to the crux of it, like.
And I can fully admit that as a person, I have manipulative traits. As a person, I am self-aware enough to know that there are traits within me. Yeah. That
I think
have the potential.
Everyone's got a certain amount, but it's when you use it and how you use it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like a superpower. Yeah, if you know you've got this power to manipulate people, you have to be able to look at yourself and go, now's not the time.
Yeah. And the thing is, depending on why they're a boomerang in your life, as in, what your relationship was like previously, whether it was a relationship, whether it was just sex, etc. If they have manipulated you before in that process, then they go, oh, well, that's fine. I can do this again.
Then you get into the boundaries of abuse, though, don't you?
Of course.
They get into the sort of, this person is literally using me for what they need. A lot of the time, I don't think it is that.
No.
I think a lot of the time it is just purely, I haven't spoken to them for a while, I'm going to hit them up. It looks bad from your point of view because you can see your perspective. Yeah. But that person can't see that. And that's
or they refuse to look
at it.
Or
they refuse to look at it. But then you get to the people that literally, like you say, they do it because they can see what kind of a mood or what kind of a place you're in.
Yeah, and they go, now's the perfect time.
It's the perfect time to get them back on that hook.
Because she will literally come reeling back.
Yeah, she will come straight back in. Yeah. And
absolutely.
I think there is a big difference between the boomerangs that do it just purely by almost coincidence or by mistake. And then there's the people that do it because they know they can get something from it.
Yeah, and they're like, I know how to get to her.
And it's like the one that I was talking about earlier. Yeah. That is purely just they come back around by
casual mistake, sort of.
Casual mistake.
Yeah.
Well, not even a mistake, just a casual kind of,
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to this person. I'm curious.
I'm going to hit him up.
Let's hit him up. Yeah, if you're vulnerable and you're looking for something that you think that they could have given you if you'd given it more chance.
And they're turning around to you and going, I'll give it you this
then
time.
Yeah,
of course you will.
Especially, and I think as much as obviously actions speak much louder than words, if someone says to you, I'm now in a better place, I'm now in a steady situation, I can offer you this, I can offer you that, exactly. There's part of you that's going to go, well, it didn't have that last time.
It comes into that what if and I wonder kind of territory,
doesn't it? Yeah, they didn't have that last time, so maybe that'll make all the difference this time.
Exactly.
And no, it won't.
But I do wonder, like obviously we're talking about a lot of my experience with boomerang stuff, but I would love to know from people listening, etc., how many people's relationships have started from that?
From a second chance?
From a boomerang. It would be interesting to know how many people have had either boomerangs go right, or have had situations like me or you, whatever, who have had the boomerangs that just keep coming back that actually
you probably need to shut down.
Not good for them.
Yeah.
But then it's very hard because it's that thing of, I know you're not good for me, but actually...
But it feels good.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it's very difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, because unfortunately, if you're getting a lot of the right hormones from someone, like they're boosting your serotonin.
Yeah, exactly.
If they're doing that...
They're saying all the right things.
It's very addictive. It's very hard. And actually, this ties back into my addictive personality we were talking about earlier. I feed off of that serotonin.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're getting that from someone in a steady stream... Yeah. As much as it might come in dips and waves, you're still getting it from somewhere. So you cling on to it. You cling on to the things that give you that boost.
Yeah.
And obviously a boost in confidence is a big thing as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like if having someone come back to you makes you feel so wanted.
Exactly.
And feel so, this person can't live without me. And that's a big deal to some people.
I think it's very different when you're single versus in a relationship with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you are in a committed relationship and you are, like you say, you're steady and confident in your relationship, then it's not easy, but it's easier.
Yeah, that's it. And
to turn around and go, no, bye-bye.
And as I was saying before, like I have insecure moments, but I'm not an insecure person. I wouldn't ever describe myself as being insecure.
Yeah.
Just that's not a character trait that defines me very much. So I am able to look at these kind of situations with a bit of an outside perspective because I'm not basing my self-worth off of what they're giving me. I think a lot of people do that. Like with boomerangs, I think their self-worth is based on what other people value them for. No, and unfortunately, when it comes to male, female friendships and relationships, not just not just relationships, if they're giving you something that you can't find from within yourself, you're going to go back
stick to it. Of course you are.
Of course you are. That's
just a natural. That's a natural instinct.
Yeah, but if you're looking at it and saying, "Well, yeah, they're giving me that, and it's nice, but I can get that from me, or I can get that from my relationship. I don't need it from this person as well."
It's much easier to turn around and go, "Bye now." Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm always dubious when you get like a boomerang come back that like you've had a sexual relationship or an actual relationship with before, who are like, let's hang out, I want to be friends and stuff like that. I'm always really dubious about that.
I'm so dubious about that as well.
And it goes into a different topic in terms of can you be friends with exes?
Which we will be talking about shortly.
Which will be a big one.
But
that'll be a big topic.
Because we have very different opinions on this.
Yeah, we do. When they come back around, they're like, I'm in a relationship now, whatever. And you're like, okay, cool. And they're like, but let's be friends. You're a bit like...
It's almost like they see that relationship as a shield, like the awkward thing. Well, she's not going to think anything nefarious about me because I'm in a relationship. And then you're sitting there on the other side going, yeah, but how many other blokes have I spoken to that have tried it on with me who are in a relationship? Like,
exactly.
It's almost like they...
And you want to go, okay, that's fine, but we've seen each other naked. Like a lot. So
I've seen your dick and balls and I know what's down there. Yeah.
And you just think, and you think, okay, that's fine, but what happens if we go out and we start drinking? Because if I remember what happened when we used to go out drinking, you can't do that.
I think it is.
And how much self-restraint do you have? I'm not sure.
I think it's different as well because if you had a purely sexual relationship and no, like, emotional attachment with that person before, why do they suddenly want to have a...
Why would you then go, oh, I want you in my life?
Yeah, well, you don't know anything about me. Like, you know what my vagina looks like, and that's it.
You didn't want me in your life before, that's why this stopped.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's not even. It's just like, you literally just don't know anything about me. You know
exactly
what my body looks like, and I sound like
now I want to learn about you. Like, no.
Why? There's loads of other people like that.
One of my favourite ones is the ones who, like, they date you for a little bit and then they're like, oh, I don't want a relationship. And you're like, okay, so I've just wasted like a couple months of my life with you for fucking nothing. Okay, cool. Bye. And then off they fuck. And then a couple months later, they're like, oh, hey. And you're like, oh, hi.
Why are you back?
What do you want? And they're like, oh, I miss hanging out with you and stuff. You're like, oh, okay.
Do you?
And then you're like, do you miss sex? Or do you, no, I've thought about this and I want more now. Do you though? And then you start sleeping with them and then, oh no, I don't want more. And you're like, and I very think clever bastard.
On the side of the boomerang person, I would be very interested to know with how many of these people that do swing back around on a regular basis, not just the ones that come back and that's that.
Yeah.
The people that come back on a regular basis, how lonely they are.
Yes.
I would be really interested to know whether they're in a relationship or not. And I'm not saying that their relationships are perfect and they're just ruining them. No. They might well be in a horrible relationship that isn't their fault. It's horrible for other reasons.
Yeah.
That's kind of understandable, as much as it's still not great. Like, it's kind of understandable. I would be so interested to know if they're just really lonely people and they don't have a lot of friends and they don't have a lot... Like, I have a very close friendship group. Yeah. And I do think that provides a lot of... As much as my relationship with Lloyd is obviously my key relationship in my life, my relationship with my friends is a huge thing for me. It gives me a big boost in all the good, happy hormones that I have. Yeah. So if you've not got... You might have the relationship and maybe that's good. But if you don't have that relationship with those friends as well, like a lot
outside
of blokes...
of your relationship.
A lot of blokes really struggle making friendships.
On keeping them.
Keeping and making. Like, a lot of blokes that I do know that have friendships, they're all based online. Yeah. They're all online friendships. They don't have a huge amount of... They don't go out for drinks with the lads. No. Which is a real shame, because that's something that... Like, when we go out for a drink, that's something that makes my week sometimes. Like, that's something I look forward to. Yeah. And... as much as we've not been able to do it for the last 8 months or whatever. Yeah. But
thanks, COVID.
Yeah, thanks. I really could do with a cocktail, actually. But so that's that happy hormones that they're not getting there. Yeah. That are they trying to find it in you? Yeah. And they're looking in completely the wrong
places.
Like,
absolutely.
You should be going out to bars and meeting some blokes and having some friendships. Yeah. Like, would that really benefit those people? And stop them from swinging back around with these unhealthy relationships. Yeah. Because...
And bugging me.
And bugging you, yeah. I mean, it would help you and it would help them, so...
Yeah.
But this is another conversation topic I want to have at some point, actually. I want to talk about making friends as an adult.
Oh, God, so much harder.
Because it's so tricky. And, I know when I turned 20-odd, something like that, I remember my mum saying to me, you've kept a lot of your friends from school. And I do. I'd have a lot of friends that I've met in secondary school. She was so surprised. And so
it doesn't happen all that often.
It doesn't.
Really. Like, I've only got one friend from high school. Whereas a lot of my friends now these days are work.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only other place to really meet people nowadays.
Yeah. But you don't really go to bars looking for friends.
No. And I do think it is harder for men to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And and the thing is, especially, these days, it's going to get even harder, because when you look at COVID, things like people going out for drinks after work as a team, etc. Well, you can't do it.
Yeah,
you can't do
it's
it
a
now
very
because of the
lonely time.
restrictions, and so because of that, it's making all of that 10 times harder.
Yeah, it's a very lonely time for people of all types, but I think definitely men. I think women have a lot easier time keeping friendships.
Yeah, because we talk.
Yeah, and that means that we don't have... And I do think as well that stops us from swinging around as a boomerang.
Yes.
Because a lot of the times, if you say to your mate, oh, I'm thinking I might text this person, just hit them up again.
The fuck are you doing?
You would literally be like, why?
Like,
what's wrong with you?
What are you doing that for? Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm sorry, no. Yeah. Whereas, guys don't talk about that.
And if they do, they'd be going, oh yeah, go on, text her. Yeah, get back in her life. And you're like, no, stay out of my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a big thing, I think, as well. It's having that friendship group to say,
what the fuck are you doing?
What are you doing? Why are you going back to this? You know, it didn't work last time. It's not going to work this time.
This is not a good idea for your life.
But that's Boomerang, people.
Oh, yeah.
And you were right. We had about a half hour's worth of
that's
audio
good.
on that. So we matched our moaning to our audio.
It's a very moany episode, I'm afraid. True life.
This is probably the first episode we've done which is more about our lives.
Yeah, it's a lot more personal, this one, I guess.
It's probably a more personal one, which is actually the way I would prefer it to go.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of the time. I think we can talk about big topics as much as we like, but we're not journalists. We're not like... We can only base things off of what we have experienced. And like last week's Karen episode, we had experienced that, exactly. So that's fine. But this is more of a personal, hit you differently kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope everyone's had a good week or 2 weeks since the last episode. We are Honesty Box and we have an Instagram and also we have a Patreon now. So if you fancy hitting us up on that, I can't remember what the link is. I think it's patreon.com/honestybox, I think. But if it's not, it's on my Instagram.
Yeah, find it on Instagram.
Find it on Instagram. The link is in the bio. Instagram is at honestybox. No, it's not. What is it? I keep
Honest Pod.
That's it. The Honest Pod. That's our Instagram. I forget it every single week.
Pod.
I literally use it every day, and I forget it. Posted a selfie today.
Yeah,
so
I didn't notice
better
that.
go on there and like that. Like,
I'm like just over my Instagram, and there you are.
There's me. There's my face. Yeah. So please email us. Our email address is thehonestpodcast@outlook.com. So please email us if you have some feedback or you want to give us some, news of yours. We would actually really like it if someone sent us some news, just some stuff that's going on in their life. Just have a rant on our emails.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd love that if someone just ranted. Or on IM, you can instant messages, that's fine.
Any of the above, really.
Just get in contact. I want to hear from some people. I know we're not, massively on the listenership at the moment, but we've only just started, so give us a chance.
It's early days, mate.
Super early days. But, I just want to be popular. Anyway, I hope everyone has a good couple of weeks, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye.
Bye.